The science behind the mind and behavior, how to start making changes. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming. This is Tommy Walker, the mind engineer in the community, and I want to welcome you here. I hope you enjoy this presentation today. It's something that I've been talking for a long time now, but I want to just do a refresher and go in depth in some other areas. So thank you very much. If you're watching, if you can write #live, that would be great. If you can write, if you're watching replay, #replay, that would be awesome too. So thank you again. If you're watching, I hope you enjoy this. So let's talk about the science behind the mind and behavior. There's so much information out there on how the mind works, how to start making changes, right? And a lot of people are struggling with this, trying to bring changes into their life. So I want to share this training today to help you start really understanding how it works and how to start making changes. So first of all, like Bruce Lipton shares, right, we need to understand that from 0 to 7, 8 years old, Carl Jung and many others out there share this, we come to this world with a blank slate. And during that phase of our life, mostly we start incorporating beliefs around the environment, right? Around everything. It could be beliefs around money. It could be beliefs about what a man is, what a woman is, how to behave under different circumstances, under pressure. We start learning mostly from mom or dad. Okay. So a lot of people out there many times hate when they're told like, oh, you're acting like your mom, or you're like your mom, you're like your dad, right? And it hits a chord because many times we've seen things that we didn't like as kids, but unfortunately, subconsciously, we could have internalized that and we could be manifesting some of it. So instead of fighting with different aspects of you that you might not enjoy so much, I want to invite you to start working on understanding. Hey, Chris, thank you very much for watching. I want to invite you to work on embracing whatever shows up. Instead of fighting it, embrace it. Why do I say this? Because to be able to make changes in any aspect of our life, we need to first embrace whatever we're doing. So if you're procrastinating, you need to understand that procrastination is, and I spoke about this a long time. Hey, Rose says that there's no sound. So anybody else? Chris, do you hear anything? Just to check. I think we are with sound. Maybe Rose needs to check what's going on. So what's going on is procrastination is the solution to a deeper problem. Perfectionism is a solution to a deeper problem. Addictions is a solution to a deeper problem. So like the Gabor Mate shares, yes, we need to understand that instead of asking like, oh, why the addiction, I love what he teaches is why the pain? Because addiction normally is a byproduct of a deeper pain. So instead of fighting an addiction, fighting that I'm consuming sugar, chocolate, or something that I want to stop, my overweight, something that's going on, I need to start embracing the part of me that found a way to deal with that. So imagine that you do binge eating, right? And we talked about this in the past. You are not able to stop eating sugar or chocolate. That is the way the mind has found to deal with deeper pain. So instead of denying, fighting, hey, Romana, thank you for stopping by. Instead of fighting with that part of you that is doing that behavior, we need to understand that that behavior was created as a byproduct of a lack of love, people. A lack of love has taken that part of you to adopt that behavior. So when you fight with a part of you that adopted a behavior to try to numb the pain of the lack of love, what you're creating is a bigger lack of love. It means that you're creating more pain. So if by trying to get my kid to stop hitting his brother by slapping him, it's nonsense. If I want to teach my kid to not hit his brother when he feels frustrated, I don't need to go slap him to teach him to stop slapping because it's not going to work. And I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying, but this is what most people do. Type a yes in the chat if this makes sense. Not you, Suzanne, that you're driving, please. But the rest out there, if you can, type a yes in the chat if it makes sense that slapping my kid to teach him to stop slapping is nonsense. So we need to stop this craziness of going into war with a part of me that is doing something that is quote unquote not acceptable. Whether it's getting really angry and hurting people with words or with, even in extremes with violence, right? Saying nasty things to others when we feel upset, or, getting a panic attack or an anxiety attack when we're feeling upset, or whether it is eating or it is, whatever it is that you're doing as a behavior, you need to understand that that is the solution to a deeper problem. It is not the problem. So again, this is how the mind works. And that's why I call this the science behind the mind and behavior. Because when people go into war with the different parts of them to try to stop them from doing what they think is wrong, like I think that it's wrong smoking, and I start beating myself up because I'm smoking, that is not the solution. Because again, as I said, smoking could be a way of numbing the pain of the lack of love within. A part of me is feeling a lack of love. And I keep talking about parts. Yes, we are made up of parts. And I know it sounds crazy, but it is true. And listen to this. How many times have you said, I'm going to go do this, and you didn't do it? Or you said, I'm going to stop doing this, and you didn't stop it? Type one in the chat if it has happened to you that you said, hey, I'm going to go do this, and you didn't do it. Or you said, I'm not going to do this anymore, and you did it. Does that make sense that you have said something and went against it? That shows you, proves what I'm saying, that we are made of different parts. A part of me that wants to go this way, a part of me that wants to go this way, a part of me that wants to go that way. Different parts of us saying like, oh, we should do this. Oh, no, we shouldn't do that. We should do this instead. No, we shouldn't do anything. When we have these conversations inside of us, instead of fighting it, we need to embrace it. We need to understand that's part of the human nature. In psychology, that's called sub-personalities. Jordan Peterson talks about this too. So we have these different parts of us that are pulling in different directions. So we want to align them all to pull in one direction to try to do what we really want to do, or what's best for us, what is best for our health. We need to start practicing this modality of loving and accepting every part of you, the part of you that's self-sabotaging, the part of you that is beating you up mentally or emotionally if you're doing something wrong, the part of you that is getting you stuck, the part of you that is procrastinating. All of those parts of us need to feel loved and acceptance. The more you fight against them, the stronger they become for most people. I've been studying the mind for 15 years. I've studied Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Edgar Tolle, Deepak Chopra, studies from Buddhism, Christianism. I've studied Margaret Paul, Gabor Mate, Van der Kolk. I've studied so many people out there in these 15 years, and I keep seeing the same patterns. I see people that are still trying to beat themselves up to make changes in their life and are not being able to. A very small percentage of people are able to make changes by beating themselves up. So if it's not working, we need to try to do something different. Like, Einstein said, if you want to see different results, you need to change what you're doing. If not, it's crazy to expect different results by doing the same things. So I know that there's lots of people out there that are teaching how to beat yourself up, how to, the inner critic, call it names, to shut it out, deny the negatives, don't focus on the negatives, positivity. That is not working for most people out there. And I can tell you, after working with thousands of people around the world, doesn't matter where they come from, it is all the same for most people. It is not working. So we need to start embracing the negatives, experimenting the negatives. Why are they there? So remember what I always teach: behaviors are the byproduct, are the byproduct of emotions. Emotions are the byproduct of beliefs. So negative belief is going to create a negative emotion. A negative emotion is going to create a behavior. First, it's going to start as a behavior, and then it's going to turn into a habit. And most people that have these habits, many times negative habits that are trying to change, they're focusing all their energy on the habit. The habit is the solution to a deeper problem, is the byproduct, is the result of something deeper. So go through the habit, try to see what's going on. How am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And how is this making me feel about myself? And that's how we start tapping into the subconscious mind, into the beliefs that we have. I have worked with people that tell me, I don't care what people say. Okay, so why did you come to me? Because I'm struggling in getting out there with my business. I'm struggling getting out there to find, a partner. Okay, but if you're saying that you don't care what people say, why is it that you find it difficult to get out there and start, sharing what you do with your business? Well, I don't know. No, it has nothing to do with me, because I don't care what people say. But deep down, they did. Their actions was more aligned with I do care what people say more than what he was trying to convince himself. So subconsciously, he believed that, yes, what people say is important. I want to protect myself. Consciously, he had tried to convince himself to not get out there not to get out there, that he didn't care what people say. But his actions were more aligned with I do care what people say. And this happens to most people. Let's see, Roman. Habit is a byproduct of a deeper problem. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Romana. This is for everyone. This is not just for you, Romana. This is valid for the entire world. The thing, as I said, a very few people out there, very limited people out there, are able to kick themselves in the butt enough to be able to take actions. The rest of the people out there is not working for them. What is much more effective? What did I see that has changed my life and thousands of people around the world that I help with is by practicing self-love. When you love the aspect of you that is playing it small, when you love the aspect of you that is judging, when you love the aspect of you that is procrastinating, but is seriously loving it, unconditional love. It's not like, oh, Tommy told me I have to do this. No, I'm not saying that. It has to be true to yourself. Because as it's you, if you're pretending, it doesn't work. It's like pretending pretending that you love somebody else. Eventually, it's going to fall apart. Eventually, it's going to fall apart. So don't pretend. Love and accept the part of you. So as I always teach, love on one side, understanding on the other, and the infinite sign connecting both. Love, understanding, and the infinite sign. As I practice a little bit of love, I am able to go deeper into understanding why am I doing what I'm doing. As I understand deeper why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm able to love myself deeply more. As I love myself more, I open myself to understanding more. As I understand more, I'm able to love myself more. And that is why I call the infinite sign between those two, because that is what can set you free. Counterintuitive, but it's truly worked better than beating ourselves. Yes, Romana, thank you. It is counterintuitive. That's why it resonates so much following Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, and so many others, Edgar Tolle, that teach about denying the negatives, repressing the negatives, pushing them away. It sounds so good because facing the negatives feels painful. Denying it, although it's still painful within deep, deep down, it doesn't feel so much pain in the mind. It's still there, don't get me wrong, but they're disconnecting, they're repressing. It is counterintuitive because we have been trained our entire life to do that. It's like learning how to drive stick and then try to drive automatic. It's going to make it easier, but it's going to be weird. But if you have driven automatic all your life, a car automatic all your life, and now you want to drive stick, it is really difficult. I was born in a country where we drove stick most of the time. So for me, driving stick is easy now because I've driven with stick for many years. But when I went to live to the States and I drove a lot over there automatic, it was pretty easy to transition. Although it felt uncomfortable, it was, in a way counterintuitive, right? Because I was used to doing stick. So I used to put my hand on the automatic, thing to just do the next gear, but it did it automatically. But I see a lot of people that go from stick, manual driving, to automatic, sorry, the other way around, from automatic to manual stick, and they find it very difficult, right? Because we have been used to one thing. People have been trained, have been programmed to not deal with the negatives. Romana, when we were kids, our parents would tell us, don't be scared, don't be angry, don't be grumpy, don't be. Whenever you manifested something negative, it was denied. So if it was denied, you started learning that it was wrong. So if it was wrong, you rather push it away. That's why it sounds so correct to do what those people are telling you. But it's not the right way, because when my kid feels jealousy, when my kid, as I mentioned many times, feels ugly, when my kid feels angry, when he feels sad, with my wife, we try to be there with him to help him navigate those emotions, not repress them, not deny them, because it can eventually create depression, anxiety, and many other problems. So we need to start embracing the negatives. Embracing the negatives is going to allow us to understand what's going on deeper in the mind and be able to start making changes. Yes, we don't want to feel uncomfortable. There you go. We need to be willing to feel uncomfortable. Exactly. Going to the gym is not comfortable for most people, but it is getting uncomfortable to have a healthier body. Eating healthier is uncomfortable, but we need to get uncomfortable to have a healthier body. Working on the mind, it is uncomfortable because it's facing the pain, like going to the gym, facing the pain, the physical pain. Working on the mind normally creates emotional pain because we have that pain stored inside of our mind and our body. If we don't deal with it, it is going to be very difficult. Tells now, oh, Romana, you can't worry about it. Let it go when I feel emotional about something. There you go. Most people have been trained like that, Romana. Hug your dad, love your dad because he's trying to help you, but he doesn't get that it doesn't work correctly. So everyone, I hope that makes sense. This is the science behind the mind and behavior, understanding how the mind works, how to be able to tap into the subconscious mind, find the reasons behind. I was once talking to a woman and she's like, Tommy, it makes no sense what you're saying because I'm not doing laundry. What does that have to do with my past? What does that have to do with the mind, with pain? I just asked her one question. I asked her, when you were a little kid, did your mom ask you to do laundry? Yes. Did she force you to do laundry? Like this is a chore that you didn't want to do? Yes, I hated doing laundry. There you go. That's why you hate laundry today, because you hated it as a little girl, because you were forced to do that. So now she was postponing doing laundry because it was a protective mechanism of a program that she had in her brain because of childhood. That is how the mind works. So if we want to start making changes, we need to start going deeper. It's not about repressing. It's not about denying. It's not about fighting the mind. The mind is not the enemy. It's just working according to the programs it has been given. As I always say this, if I'm going to break my computer because each time I click the logo that shows the Word document logo, I click it, and I'm going to break it because it opens Word and it doesn't open Excel sheet, it sounds dumb. Imagine me breaking my computer because each time I click the logo to open the Excel sheet, but I use the Word logo, it's not working. Yes, it's not working because the computer has been programmed to open the Excel sheet by clicking the Excel sheet logo, not the Word logo, the Excel sheet logo. So the mind has been programmed to do what it does. So instead of fighting it, love and accept what's going on, bring love to yourself, practice self-love, and I promise you, I guarantee that that is going to be much more effective. I'm not saying easy, but much more effective in making changes. The person that is smoking, what it's telling me is that there are parts of them that are lacking love. The person that is binge eating is saying that it's telling me that a part of them is not receiving enough love or didn't receive enough love as kids. Or the person that is procrastinating doing their taxes, doing laundry, whatever it is a lack of love. Practice self-love and see how things can start changing. Again, just in case, I'm not saying it is easy. It's like trying to build a six-pack, try to build, a really solid body by going once to the gym and expecting that to work, or going once a week to the gym and after 4 weeks expecting to have a six-pack. It might not happen right away, but if you keep doing it, eventually, if you're doing the right things, it's going to happen. The same thing as you love and accept the different parts of you, understand why, where it comes from, what different incidents is the mind using from your past. Like, my mom hit me when I was a kid. Okay, that makes me feel that I'm not good enough. As it makes me feel not good enough, it makes me go drink to try to cover the pain of not feeling good enough. That's how it works. So you want to start making changes, start understanding and practicing self-love. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. As you can see, I give the best of me for you guys to be able to start making changes. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you want to listen more of this, follow me for more, right? If you want to share this with other people, please share. The idea is to get more people to understand what is going on and how to start making changes. So again, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Romana. Thank you, everyone, for listening.